Fuzz here, welcome back to Star Ocean 4, and I really actually want to continue on from where we left off last time. This is a true continuation of the last episode, if you like. A little bit like when a movie gets split into two movies. And the reason for that is a lot of what we're doing today I really wanted to do in the last episode for the sake of keeping everything coherent, but it just went on for a little bit too long, so I wasn't able to. So we're still located in Trop here. The very next stage, having gone through the story and everything that we've done in the last episode, is to just continue preparing our characters for the upcoming dungeon, which can be a challenging dungeon actually. So we're going to start by just heading into the weapon shop. There's a couple of bits we can pick up. Nothing tremendously exciting in terms of actually going for complete overhauls of our characters and their equipment, but a couple of bits that make sense to get while we are here. So the two items that I recommend in terms of weapons are the Vermilion Claws, and these are a great upgrade actually for Miracle, so I do recommend purchasing one of these. And also the Wand of Wonder is, I thought it was going to be an upgrade for Limmel, but I guess I'm mistaken on that. I'm not going to worry too much about some of these other items, the Sylph Saber, for example, which is an upgrade for Phase, but it's a little bit on the pricey side. I'm going to leave that one up to you, whether you want to purchase that. Right, in terms of armour then, the Volcanic Chainmail is something that's pretty good, and I am going to go for two of these because Miracle and Raimi are going to benefit from them, and we are going to be crafting a weapon for Raimi as well in a little while. So I did mention in the last episode to make sure you pick up some aluminium, just one piece should be fine, in order to craft her a new weapon when we next hit up the Calnus. So we'll go ahead and purchase these items, and I'll equip those in due course. But before we actually leave Trop, we are going to continue our shopping spree here by heading over to the Skill Workshop, which is located just over here. So I'll show you that on the main map there, right down at the bottom of the town. And we're going to be able to get a couple of skills for Muria. Oh, if I can actually move Edge, he got a bit stuck then. Yeah, got some dialogue. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all, I just want to mention Demonology. So you've probably noticed by now that each of the characters gets their own unique skill which boosts the drop rate of specific enemy types. Well, this is the one for Muriel, and this one will boost the drop chance of items from, well, demons, quite frankly, as you can probably tell by the name. So we're going to go ahead and pick one of those up. And then we've got Convert somewhere on this list, which is also somewhat powerful. You can see it's able to be equipped by several party members, and what this is going to do is convert your health on the person that uses it into MP. And obviously, if you're going to pair this with health restoring skills or HP boost skill, then it's going to come in very, very useful indeed. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to go for it and purchase 4 of these for now as well. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can mention while we're here. Yes, Appetite is also something that you might be interested in. This is useful by Miracle and Edge, and it is a new skill. It's not actually that good, to be honest with you, but it's, you know, not something that wastes a skill slot in all honesty. So let's just go ahead and purchase 2 for the sake of completionism. And I think we'll just go ahead and purchase all that for the time being. But you can also look at some of the other ones as well. For example, some others that are teachable or learnable to Miracle include the Hide skill and Fury Boost, Auto Healing. In fact, I think we'll go ahead and pick an Auto Healing up for our new party member there, and First Aid as well, but I've already got a few of those to tell you the truth. HP Boost, let's go ahead and buy one. I think we've already got a few actually, so I'm not going to bother. Chain Combos, we've got some of those as well. So just go through the list and just purchase new skills for your new party member as to whatever it is that you want to give her. Although apart from the skills I've shown you, you will be duplicating with other party members on those other ones as well. Well, I'm just going to go ahead then, enter the menu and sort out our new skills and equipment before moving on. Okay, so now I'm going to be leaving Trop once again. I'm going to be making our way back to the Calnus, and it is a bit of a long journey, which is why I wanted to make sure we got everything else done up until this point, such as getting our latest party member and also farming for that aluminium, which we did in the last episode. The only thing worth mentioning really before we do head back is that you will need 4 giant bird feathers for a quest, And the quest is one that we've already picked up. It's called Grooming is Essential. And just check your inventory. You might already have 4 giant bird feathers, but if you don't, then you need to find the green birds that roam around this place, such as this one. And make sure Miracle is in your party and has learned her anthropology skill or whatever that's called, just to give you a higher chance of getting the item. And what you're looking for is 4 of the giant bird feathers, which can be quite rare, but are not too hard to farm for if you, as I say, have Miracle. And then you'll be able to craft the item that's needed when we go back to the Kaunas for that quest, Grooming is Essential. We didn't get it this time, unfortunately, so I just need 1 more in order to have all 4. I've got 3 at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and farm for that by killing those green axe beaks, and then I'm going to make my way back to the Kaunas, and I'll see you there. Okay, so I'm just trying again to get this final one. Oh, by the way, guys, the other thing I forgot to mention to you, which I probably should do, is that you will need a bunny to get back to the Kaunas, but fortunately there's one located just in this area. There we go, the giant bird feather. So I've got all 4 of those now, which is what I needed. So that'll allow us to craft that item, as I mentioned, for the quest. So the actual bunny is... there it is. So I'll show you where this is on the map when I get close to it. But it's fairly obvious, it's just down south. And the reason for this is you won't get across the sand otherwise into the Tatroy area. So you will have to get this bunny. But it's a bit of a trek to the Kaunas, so I'm not going to show you the whole journey. Hopefully, though, it's going to be worth it. And then in the next episode, once we've done everything we need to do at the Kaunas, we'll be able to actually move into the next dungeon as well. Oh, that'll be fun. It's quite a challenging one. Right, back on board the Kaunas, there's one thing I really recommend you do first of all, because if you forget about it, then you're going to have issues later on. In particular, there's a private action that we're going to be able to trigger now. And we can only trigger this private action once Miria has joined the party, but before we finish the next dungeon. So we've got a very small window of opportunity. Now the problem is, if we don't do this private action, we actually completely lock ourselves off from one of the secret endings once we finish the game. So it's really, really important that we go ahead and do this. And what we want to do is head up to the crew quarters, where we find Miria and Barkas chilling out together. And this is the private action that we're going to be watching. So as I say, guys, I recommend you get this done as soon as you get back to the Kaunas, so that you don't forget to do it later on before it actually disappears for good. Right, so now we've done the private action and all that's out of the way, we're actually going to get on with some crafting. So because we've got a new party member, we will of course be able to learn some new recipes, which means you're going to want some party skill points. If you don't have any, or you've spent them all learning skills and upgrades and what have you, then just pop outside the Kaunas, get a few green tiles from ambushes, and you'll be able to stock up on those skill points very, very quickly. Incidentally, as well as, you know, getting ambushes to get the green tiles, you can also just go around and collect all the mining and harvest point nodes if you need party skill points, because you can reset those just by popping back to the Kaunas as well. Most of those were giving me 6 to 7 skill points each. I didn't spend long getting any, or getting many anyway, but they are there to be used for that purpose if you need them. Alright then guys, so obviously there's a couple of things we're going to need to do while we're here. In particular, we're going to want to invent new recipes now that we've got, what's her face? Muria, and you're also going to want to make sure you've just maxed out her item creation skill as well, just to make the most of it, which is compounding. Okay, compounding is the name of her skill, and that's what you're going to want to get to level 10. Stick her in with various people in the invention groups, and hopefully she'll learn a whole bunch of recipes for you as well. Okay folks, I just want to point out to you as well that Muria, Barkus and FaZe, if you stick them together, they can actually learn a recipe to craft aluminium, which, as I've said, is going to be used in multiple recipes. I explained where you can actually find it out in the mining node in the last episode. So we're going to be using at least one of them for a new weapon for Raimi, but they are using other recipes as well as used in an order that we picked up. We're going to need 5 of them for that, but I won't be doing that anytime soon because we won't have enough. But I did just want to mention that, okay, so that's Muria, Barkus and FaZe, pair, or trio them together I should say, and you'll be able to learn this recipe as well. Right, so let's just move on to crafting now, and we're going to head to Smithery. Now, one of the items you should be able to craft is the Composite Bow, and I do actually have the Alien Arc, I just have it equipped, so I need to unequip it for this to be available here. So this is actually a decent upgrade for Raimi, and it's one of the reasons I recommend making sure that you have at least one aluminium, so that we can craft that. Now, the other item of note is the Venom Sword, which will be an upgrade, or should be an upgrade, I should say, for Edge, and it is in this case. However, you'll also need another aluminium, which is fine because I've just explained how you can craft that. But the other thing that you'll be interested in is the steel. Now, you probably won't have any steel. This is something that you're going to need to craft. In order to learn the recipe for steel, you'll need to pair Edge and Muria together, just the two of them, and they will come up with the recipe if you have enough coal to craft a single piece of steel. And enough iron. You need iron and coal, but you should have enough iron. Now, the problem is you probably won't have enough coal unless you've been lucky and have gone around the mining points in the Purgatorium and the Purgatorium map outside it. Now, if you don't have, as I say, enough steel, they're probably not going to come up with the recipe, at least not in my experience. But if you do have enough to craft 3 steel, if you get the recipe and can craft that, then you can craft the Venom Sword, which is very nice indeed. And you're very unlikely to have enough coal for the next one, but it's possible as well you can even craft the Elastic Rapier, which is a decent upgrade as well for FaZe. Okay, so look at the attack on that, 737 attack. A very nice item indeed. You will, as I say though, require that 3 pieces of steel. So that's it in terms of the weapons. I'm just going to go ahead and craft the Composite Bow here, and then we'll have a look at some of the other items for quests. Okay then, so there's 3 things we're going to craft right now for quests. The first is a cooking recipe, and this is for the quest Otherworldly Diet. And what we need to get is the Otherworldly Cuisine. Now the insect leg, insect eggs and rotten fish are very easy to get from the local wildlife. As you can see, we're already maxed out on those. I suspect you will be too. Vinegar you can just purchase from the shops. In particular, you can get it from Patron if you need it. So we'll go ahead and make this, and that'll be the first quest item completed. This will give us 50 party skill points when we hand this in as well, which is obviously a bit of a bonus. That'll be created too. Right then, so we're going to come out of the cooking now, and the next one I believe is a crafting recipe. And yes, it's the feathered comb. This is the one I told you you're going to need 4 giant bird feathers for. And this is for the quest Grooming is Essential. So we'll go ahead and do this. This is another quest over in, what do you call it, in Trop. And then the final item is, I believe, engineering. We could have done this before, but I forgot, to be honest with you, so we'll get it done now. It's the music box. And we need to repair this, so all we're going to need is a repair kit, which can be purchased, and the broken music box, which is given as part of the quest. And we'll go ahead and create that as well.
Pretty good, don't you think? Wanna make something?
And there we have it. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you then, guys. Obviously, you can go ahead and have a look to see if there's any upgrades or items that you want to create while you've got the crafting materials. But everything that we pretty much need to do is done for now. So pretty exciting stuff. We've got a few quests to hand in, but I think we're going to do that next time now, guys. I'm going to make a move, I think, and go and get some lunch sorted. So thanks for stopping by today. I hope this video has been helpful to you. As I said, it's a bit of a continuation of the last episode. I did want to get it all done together, but alas, we weren't able to do so because of time. But in the next episode, we're going to be heading into the Purgatorium itself, I believe, anyway, unless there's anything else I can think of in the meantime that we need to do. Tackling that dungeon, which could be a challenge, so we'll see how we get on there. But hopefully, with the right strategies, we'll make our way through to the end, and we'll be able to move on to more stuff then with the planet of Roic. In particular, some exciting stuff to do with the Colosseum. Forgot what it was then. So some optional arena battles, which is always fun. But thanks for joining me today, guys. I'll see you next time.